And there we have it. I did a story on the coronavirus earlier today, and now we're getting breaking news coming out just a little bit later after my video. The CDC has basically said it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Please, for Pete's sake, go to the store calmly, stock up on some supplies. They are saying expect significant disruption in our lives. Coronavirus is here. For those that didn't see my update earlier today, you may have. Italy had a few isolated cases, and they don't know how it got so bad. But in China, there's something like 70,000+. It is everywhere, and the CDC is saying it is coming. Schools will be closed. Business will be disrupted. I hope you are taking things seriously. You will regret it. Let's read the story from the Daily Mail. It's no longer a question of if, but when the coronavirus will spread in the U.S., CDC officials said on Tuesday as they told parents to prepare their children for the possibility of school closures. The CDC said Americans need to prepare for teleschooling should the virus continue to spread throughout the U.S. So far, 57 cases have been confirmed, 14 in the nation, 40 from citizens repatriated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan, and 3 evacuated from China. And although the threat is currently low, Dr. Nancy Messonnier, CDC's director of the Center for the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Disease, says the public needs to prepare if the virus becomes a pandemic. It's not so much a question of if this will happen in this country anymore, but a question of when this will happen, she told reporters in a media call on Tuesday. We are asking the American public to prepare for the expectation that this might be bad. You have been warned by your government. You've been warned by me. And here's why I told you a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, to go to the store and do not let anyone shame you. Because now the rush starts. We've already seen what happened in Italy with the store shelves being raided. I'm going to tell you this. The CDC just gave us the warning. Prepare for this. Well, guess what? I've already bought my food and water. What about you? Do you have your flashlights? Do you have your batteries? I don't think the world is going to end. We're not talking about mass chaos in the streets. We're talking about significant disruption. That means I was in New York after Sandy. You could not get gas for your car. I hope you filled up the tank. I hope you're ready to sit down and chill for a couple weeks. Supply lines are going to shrink. Economies are going to retract. It's going to get bad, and the CDC is saying it. I am absolutely disgusted by these news outlets that were poo-pooing and just ignoring this. Listen, when this story first broke, I had the attitude of the flu was bad. Come on. I don't think it'll get that bad. But I read the stories. I fact check. I Googled. I was reading what was coming out of these countries to make sure I was on top of exactly what was going down. But these other air quote journalists weren't doing that. So even last week when I'm saying just buy some water, don't let people shame you, they're tweeting things like, what is this silly nonsense? It's just in China. The flu is worse. Well, now the CDC has come out and they're saying, we are asking the American public to prepare for the expectation that this might be bad. Prepare for the expectation. I love that. They're still dancing a fine line. They're worried that if they come out and say, go buy stuff now, that people would freak out. So prepare for the expectation that it might be bad. Okay, calm down. Just tell people to get ready. Things are probably going to get bad. Plain and simple. Let's read a little bit more. Dr. Messonnier is so concerned that she suggested that parents call their children's schools and ask if there are plans for children to attend class over the internet or via video chat should the buildings need to close. In fact, she told reporters she has already called her own children's school to ask how it would handle closures due to the outbreak. Dr. Messonnier said, although the threat of coronavirus in the U.S. is currently slim, the infection's international spread abroad makes containment at the U.S. border and within the nation increasingly difficult. Now, let me just reiterate this point to all the morons on Twitter who are like, how is the border wall going to protect us? She just said it, you idiots. Listen, the infection's international spread abroad makes containment at the U.S. border and within the nation increasingly difficult. 1 million people trying to walk in through the southern border, and Trump started building a massive border barrier bollard fencing. Now, the main argument that Trump and the Democrats were having was over morality and legalization. Nobody was talking about pandemics, but here we are. You want to make a good argument for a wall? There it is. The CDC is freaking out. Therefore, she suggested recommendations that the public could take if the virus reaches pandemic-like levels. At a community level, this means reducing face-to-face contact in schools, and officers are replacing in-person meetings with teleschooling and teleconferencing. I had a conversation with my family over breakfast this morning, and I told my children that while I didn't think they were at risk, right now we as a family need to be preparing for significant disruption in our lives. She said she called her children's school and asked if there are plans for teleschooling. They say, however, other health experts have advised parents not to overreact and pull their children out of school. Definitely don't overreact. No, I'm sorry. Definitely don't panic. A little overreaction is justified so long as you do it calmly. Underreaction can be bad. They cite, I'm going to stop right now too. Shout out to all of you who have commented, because I've seen your comments saying, Tim, it's going to get worse. Tim, it's going to get bad. I called it. I knew it. I've seen all the comments from you guys, and you were right. In the beginning, they were like, the flu is worse. It's SARS. We'll get a couple hundred deaths. Don't worry about it. Now here's the warning from the CDC. Now Trump is trying to say it's under control. Keep calm. I respect this within reason. They're saying they have it contained. They might not. But they do. It is important you do not panic. I do not like the approach of telling everybody everything will be okay if it won't. I like an honest approach. Listen, if you panic, you will make things worse. Your life will get worse if you panic. But this will get bad. So calmly set up a plan, write things down with your family, take charge. One of the worst things you can do in any circumstance, in any emergency, is panic. When your brain is in panic mode, your chance of survival decreases, depending on the circumstance. I think that's fair to say. But when you need a cohesive plan over how you're going to deal with something as bad as this, then you cannot panic. But you also can't underestimate, and you also can't have an optimism bias. So they cite the number of infections among children are low, and that when symptoms do appear, they're mild. The literature is only reporting about 100 or so pediatric cases. Dr. Terry Lynn Stillwell, a pediatric infectious disease expert at Mott Children's Hospital, told NPR. Worldwide, more than 80,000 people have been infected with coronavirus, and more than 2,700 people have died, mostly older patients with pre-existing conditions. We'll scroll down. You got a bunch of photos. During the media call, Dr. Messiner, I can't pronounce it, also gave an update on test kits, some of which were flawed, that were sent to state and local health departments. Currently, 12 states and localities have working test kits, but it's unclear which states and cities have them. I am frustrated, like I know many of you are, that we have had issues with our tests. I want to assure you that we are working to modify the kit and hope to send out a new version to state and local jurisdictions soon. She added that 400 samples were tested at the CDC on Monday night and that there is currently no backlog despite the defective tests. So we get it. She says, I am deeply concerned. We're way behind the 8 ball on this, said Senator Patty Murray, a Democrat from Washington, during a Tuesday Senate Appropriations Subcommittee hearing. We see that the White House has requested $2.5 billion to fund better tracking of the virus, treatment development, and ramped up production of a stockpile of 300 million face masks and protective gear for U.S. healthcare workers. We're also hearing that the U.S. Senate Democrats are requesting $3.1 billion to battle the coronavirus, while Trump is saying that it will go away, but the CDC is saying it will spread. Speaking to reporters in New Delhi, India, President Trump expressed confidence the outbreak is going to work out fine and will go away. Trump is right. And I think it's important he keeps a calm demeanor and does push back a little bit. We've got 80,000 infections, okay? It's mostly older people that are dying, but some younger people have died as well, which is why this is a serious issue. It's not the plague or the apocalypse, but it's something that should be taken seriously because the risk and the mortality rate are enough to disrupt economics. So there may be supply line interruptions. We're already seeing it. That means when you go to the store, some people are probably going to buy too much. Food will probably go bad. What can I say? Some people are going to panic. Don't do that. Buy what you need. Do not overbuy. Do not take too much that you can't have, because then we're going to be lacking massive supplies. But I do think now is the time. You know what I'm doing right after the filming of this video? I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to get my car, I'm going to go to Costco, and I'm going to do what the CDC told me to do and prepare for the expectations this may get bad. Whatever that sentence is supposed to mean, I think I get the warning. This lady is really worried, and she works for the CDC. Let me tell you, they always want to downplay it. When the CDC is freaking out, I think it's worse than even they're letting on. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think the world is going to end. Calm down. But do not listen to these stupid optimism bias Muppets in the media who are like, chill out, everything's fine. No. Your life is your responsibility, not theirs. And I know a lot of people are also doom-saying too. Look, I've not experienced anything like this in my life, so I don't know what to expect. I don't know what you should expect. I don't want to scream the end is nigh and wave a sign around like a crazy person. So the best I can do is say, enjoy your life, play some games, play some video games, hang out with your buddies, crack a beer, but buy a little extra than you normally would. Because it's not going to go bad if you buy the right stuff. And you'll eat it later and nothing will be bad. And I'll tell you what, if this all blows over and everyone went out and bought new stuff, hey, boost the economy. Just make sure you recycle all that plastic, all right? I mean that seriously. America tends to do a good job with that. I will keep you updated as more developments come in. But I think this is the most important story we have right now. We can talk politics all day and night. I can complain about Democrats. I get it. But see, this coronavirus stuff is for all of you. Regardless of your political affiliation, I want to see that you get through this safe, healthy, and we can go. I want to make sure that after all of this, we're all going to go back to bickering about the stupid nonsense of whether one politician is crazier than the other. So do the right thing, take care of yourselves, and I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m.